The lonely human in the park was quiet. Too quiet for a city that never truly slept. Tall alien buildings surrounded the green space. Their lights floated softly in the air. Colors shifted slowly like breathing stars on a simple bench near the center of the park. A human man sat alone. He kept his shoulders low. His hands rested together. His head stayed down. He did not look dangerous. He did not look strong. He looked tired. Other beings passed by, tall ones, small ones, creatures with glowing eyes, creatures with floating limbs. They noticed him. Then they walked faster. Some whispered, some stared. Some turned away. A human did not belong here, not in this city, not on this world. The man knew that. He felt it with every breath. This planet was not his home. Earth was far away, too far to return. He had come as a worker, as a helper, as someone useful, but usefulness fades fast. Jobs end, contracts break, friends disappear. Now he sat on the bench, watching leaves fall from alien trees, leaves that shimmered like soft light. He remembered real trees, green ones, brown ones on Earth. That memory hurt the most. The human closed his eyes. His chest tightened. His breath became uneven. He tried to stay quiet. Humans were taught not to show weakness here. Aliens feared strong emotions. They did not understand tears, but pain does not ask permission. A tear slipped down his face. Then another. He pressed his hands against his eyes, trying to stop it. It did not work. His shoulders shook. Just a little. No sound came out, but the hurt was loud inside him. He thought about his mother, her voice, her cooking, her smile. He thought about the last message he never sent. He thought about how alone space can feel, even in a crowded city. Behind him, soft footsteps approached. The human did not notice. He was too lost in his thoughts. A small shadow stopped in front of him. The shadow waited. The human slowly lowered his hands. His eyes were red. His face was wet. Standing there was a child, not human. She was small, much smaller than most aliens. Her skin glowed faint blue. Her eyes were large and bright, filled with curiosity. She held a small toy in her hands, something round and floating. She tilted her head. The human froze. Children were rare near humans. Parents kept them away. The human straightened, trying to look calm, trying to look safe. He spoke softly. You should not be here. The child did not move. She looked at his face, then at the tears. She took one small step closer. The human felt his heart race. Please go back, he said. Still she stayed. The park sounds faded. The city noise felt far away. Only the bench, the human and the child existed. Now the child climbed onto the bench. Carefully, slowly she sat beside him. The human did not move. He did not breathe. Her feet did not reach the ground. She looked up at him again, studying his face like he was something new, something important. Why are you sad? She asked. Her voice was soft, clear, honest. The human swallowed. I am fine. He lied. The child shook her head. No, you are hurting. The words hit him harder than any insult. No one had said that to him in a long time. He looked away. I should go, he said. The child leaned closer. She did not touch him, but she felt close, very close. You are alone, she said. The human closed his eyes again. Yes, the child thought for a moment. Then she smiled, a small warm smile, the kind that did not fear monsters, the kind that did not care about species. She spoke again, her voice almost a whisper. Then cry, human. The Komla human opened his eyes. She looked straight at him. You can borrow my mom. Time stopped. The city, the park, the fear, everything froze. The human stared at her, not understanding, not believing. A child, an alien child, offering him something no one had offered in years. Comfort, family, hope. And just like that, the universe felt a little less cold. The words that changed everything. Human did not speak. He could not. The words of the alien child stayed in the air, heavy, warm, impossible. You can borrow my mom. No one had ever said something like that to him. Not on Earth, not in space. He looked at the child, her small glowing face, her calm eyes. She was serious. This was not a joke. This was not curiosity. It was care. The human slowly shook his head. Should not say things like that, he said. The child frowned, confused. Why? She asked. Because I am human. he said, because I am not like you. The child looked at him for a long moment. Then she laughed, a soft sound like light moving. You are sad, she said. That makes you like me. The human felt something break inside him, a wall he had built for years. Turned his face away. I do not belong here, he said. The child slid closer on the bench. My mom says, she began, that anyone who feels pain belongs somewhere. The human looked at her again. Your mom said that? He asked. The child nodded proudly. She is very smart, she said. Footsteps echoed across the park. Human noticed shadows moving between the trees. Other aliens were watching now. Some slowed down. Some stopped. A human with a child. That was unusual. That was dangerous. The human tensed. You should go, he said. Softly, they will not like this. The child followed his gaze, then looked back at him. I am not afraid, she said. You should be, he replied. Before she could answer, a taller shadow appeared. A figure stepped into the light. She was taller than most. Her form calm, her movements slow. Her skin carried the same soft blue glow as the child, but her eyes were sharper. Older, a mother. The human felt his heart drop. This was it. Anger, fear, accusation. He stood up immediately. I am sorry, he said. She came here on her own. Child jumped off the bench. Mom, she said happily. The mother looked at the human, then at her child. She did not shout. She did not rush. She walked closer, measured, careful. The human waited, his body ready to leave, to run, to disappear. The mother spoke. Is he hurting? She asked her child. The child nodded yes. She said he was crying. The mother looked at the human again, her eyes soft. You should not cry alone, she said. The human blinked. I will go, he said quickly. I did not mean to cause trouble. You have not, the mother replied. Around them, more aliens gathered. Whispers grew. A human in public with a child. This was not allowed. Not officially. The human felt the pressure. The fear returned. The mother noticed. She placed herself slightly between the crowd and the human. That small action changed everything. The child smiled. I told him, she said, he can borrow you. Human froze again. Borrow, the mother repeated. Yes, the child said. He needs a mom right now. Silence spread through the park. The mother closed her eyes. For a moment, when she opened them, she looked at the human. You look like someone who forgot what safety feels like, she said. The words cut deep. He lowered his head. I did, he admitted. The mother turned to the crowd. This human is my guest, she said calmly. Crowd shifted, uncomfortable. Some looked away, some stayed. The mother held out her hand, not touching him, just offering. Come, she said. The human hesitated. No one had offered him shelter in years. If he accepted, everything would change. If he refused, nothing would. The child tugged his sleeve gently. Please, she said. The human took a breath, then another. He reached out and stepped forward behind them. Eyes watched. Decisions formed somewhere beyond the park. Powerful beings were paying attention, because this was no longer just a lonely human. This was the moment when a world began to question what it believed about humanity, and the test had only just begun. The eyes of the city, the walk through the city, felt longer than it truly was. The human moved beside the alien mother. The small child walked between them. She held her mother's hand, and sometimes looked back at the human, as if checking that he was still there. The streets were wide, clean, filled with light. Floating signs shifted colors above them. Vehicles passed silently in the air, but something had changed. People were watching. Aliens stopped their conversations. Their eyes followed the group. A human walking openly, with a child, with a mother. This was not normal. The human felt it in his chest, that heavy feeling like gravity pulling harder. He kept his hands visible, his steps slow. He did not want to look like a threat. The mother noticed. You are safe, she said quietly. The human nodded, but the fear did not leave. Safety was fragile, especially for humans. They reached a residential area. Buildings here were smaller, warmer. Lights spilled from windows, soft and welcoming. The child pointed ahead. That is our home, she said. The human stopped. You do not have to, he began. The mother raised her hand gently. I choose to, she said. That word, choose it, mattered more than she knew. They entered the building. Inside, the air felt different, calmer, softer. The door closed behind them. The human released a breath. He did not know he was holding the child. Laughed. You sound like my pet Flower, she said. The human almost smiled. Almost. They moved into a living space. Simple, clean comfort lived here. The mother gestured for him to. Sci obeyed. The child climbed onto a cushion near him. She studied his face again. Are you still sad? She asked less. He said that made her happy. The mother moved to a console near the wall. Her expression changed, serious. She had noticed it to the watchers. She activated a screen. Symbols filled the air. The human did not understand them, but he understood her tone. There's a tension on us. She said. The human stiffened. Because of me? He asked. Yes. She answered honestly. The child looked between them. Am I in trouble? She asked. No. The mother said immediately. Never. But others may not agree. She continued. The human stood up. I should leave. He said. If you leave now. She replied. They will assume guilt. He froze. Humans were often assumed guilty. The mother turned fully toward him. You did nothing wrong, she said. But fear does not need reason. The child hugged her mother. I just wanted him to stop crying. She said. The human felt that pain again, somewhere far above in towers of light and silence. The city council observed images. From the park, from the street, from this very room. A human accepted into a family space. This had not happened before. Voices argued. Some warned of danger. Some spoke of history. Humans were survivors. Humans were fighters. Humans were unpredictable. One voice stood apart. This human did not fight, the voice said. He broke. The screen in the room shifted. The mother looked at it. They are watching now, she said. The human swallowed. What will they do? He asked. Test us. She replied. The child frowned. I do not like tests. She said. Neither do humans. He answered. That made her laugh again. The mother knelt in front of him. Listen carefully, she said. If they ask, if they push, do not respond with anger. She warned. The human nodded. Anger was easy. Pain was harder. A soft tone filled the room. An incoming signal. The mother stood. It has begun, she said. The child reached for the human's hand. You are not alone, she said. That sentence, simple, small, it shook him more than anything else. Outside, lights shifted. Security units moved quiet, precise across the city. A question spread. What happens when a human is not treated like a weapon, but like a person? And deep inside the council chambers, a decision waited to be made. One that would change how the galaxy saw humanity forever. Asterisk. The judgment of silence. City grew quieter as nightlight spread across the towers. Security units hovered above streets, not threatening, but watching inside the home. The human sat still. He could feel it. The pressure, the waiting. The mother stood near the window, her posture calm, her mind sharp. The child sat close to the human, her small hand resting against his arm. She did not understand power, but she understood fear far above them. In a chamber built of light and air, the council gathered. There were many different shapes, different colors, but one concern. The human images floated between them. The park, the bench, the tears, then the walk through the city, then the home. A human welcomed, not contained, not controlled. This troubled them. One council member spoke. Humans are unstable, the voice said. They react with violence when stressed. Another responded. This one did not. This one collapsed. A third voice joined. Weakness can be deception. Silence followed back in the home. A signal echoed softly. The mother turned. It is time, she said. Human stood. His legs felt heavy. Will they send me away? He asked. Possibly, she answered. The child squeezed his army. Do not want that, she said. Neither do I, he replied. A transport field formed around them. Light wrapped gently, not harsh, not cold. Then the room faded. They appeared inside the council chamber. The human felt very small. The space was vast, open, filled with watching eyes. He lowered his head. This was judgment. The mother stepped forward. I stand responsible, she said. Child stayed close to the human. The council studied them. Why was a human allowed near a child? One voice asked. Because he was in pain, the mother answered. Pain is not an excuse. Another voice replied. It is a reason, she said. The human lifted his head. May I speak? He asked. Murmurs spread. Humans were rarely invited to speak. The council paused, then allowed it. The human took a breath. I did not come to this world to cause fear, he said. I came to work, to help, to belong. I failed, he continued. I lost everything, but I never raised a handi, never threatened a child, The chamber listened. The human looked at the child. She offered me kindness. He said I did not ask for it. One council member leaned forward. Humans are known for strength. The voice said, why show weakness? The human answered, because strength did not save me. Kindness did. Silence fell again. The child stepped forward. She was not afraid. He was crying. She said, so I helped. That is what moms do. She added. A ripple moved through the chamber. Emotion. Uncomfortable. Unexpected. The council leader spoke. This interaction has consequences. The voice said, for centuries humans have been watched, restricted because fear guided decisions. The human waited. We will test this human. The voice continued, not with pain, but with choice. The mother straightened. Explain. She said the human will be placed in a moment of crisis. The council said he may protect, or he may flee. His choice will decide. The child looked up. That is not fair. She said, fairness is rare. The council replied. The human knelt beside her. It is okay. He said, I will not hurt anyone. The council studied him one last time. This test will happen soon, they declared. Until then, he remains under protection. The chamber dimmed. The transport field returned. Light wrapped them again. Back in the home, the human felt cold. The child hugged him tightly. You will pass, she said. He smiled faintly. I hope so, he answered. Outside, somewhere in the city, a crisis was already forming, and humanity once again would be judged not by war, not by power, but by the choice of one broken human. The choice that defined humanity. The warning came without sound. Lights across the city shifted color, from calm blue to deep warning amber. The human felt it before he understood it. A change in the air, a tightening in his chest. The mother looked toward the window. It has started, she said. The child clutched the human's hand. What is happening? She asked. A system failure in the lower district. The mother replied, energy collapse. Transit locked. The human stood at once. People will be trapped, he said. Yes, the mother answered, and they will be afraid. The room filled with quiet tension. This was the test. Far above, the council watched, their screens alive with movement. They watched the lower district, crowded, dense, full of civilians. They watched the human. He could stay protected, safe, or he could move toward danger. Security units moved to seal zones. Contain panic. The human looked at the child. If I go, he said, I might not come back. The child stared up at him. Then go, she said. You help people. The mother closed her eyes briefly. I will not stop you, she said. The human nodded. He stepped toward the exit. The door opened. Noise rushed in. Alarms, voices, fear. The human moved fast, faster than he had in years. The streets were chaos. Aliens shouted. Signals flashed. Transit platforms were frozen. A group of civilians crowded near a collapsed lift shaft. Energy fields flickered. A child cried. Not the blue one. Another species. Another world. The human did not think. He ran. Security units tried to block him. Human returned to safe zone, they ordered. He did not listen. He reached the lift shaft. The energy field was unstable. It could collapse fully at any moment. Civilians were trapped inside, calling for help. The human grabbed a manual release. His hands burned. The field surged. Pain shot through his arms. He screamed, but he did not let go. Above, council members leaned forward. Humans were not built for this environment. The lift groaned. Human pulled harder. Muscles shaking, breath breaking. Then the lock released. The lift dropped safely. Just enough. Civilians poured out. Fear turned into shock, shock into relief. Human collapsed to his knees. Energy backlash. Hive was thrown backward. His vision blurred. Security units rushed in. Medical teams followed. The human lay still. The city fell quiet. Again in the home, the child felt it. She gasped. He is hurt, she said. The mother already knew. Back in the council chamber, no one spoke. They replayed the footage, the warnings, the orders. The human ignoring them. He did not fight. He did not flee. He chose others. One council member broke the silence. He had no reason. The voice said. Another answered. He had every reason. The image froze on the moment. The human gripping the release in pain, still holding on. This, the leader said, is not a weapon. This is a guardian. Medical teams stabilized the human. His body was damaged, burned, strain. But he lived. When he woke, the first thing he felt was warmth. A small hand holding his. You came back, the child said. He smiled weakly. I promised, he replied. The mother stood nearby, her eyes shining. You changed everything, she said. The human looked confused. I just helped. He answered, that is everything. She replied. Outside across the city, messages spread. A human saved lives, without force, without demand. Fear shifted, stories changed, and deep within the council, a final decision began to form. Humanity would no longer be judged by its past, but by this moment, by this choice. When the city chose to remember, the city did not return to normal, not after what happened. Screens across streets and towers showed the same image, a human holding a failing system, refusing to let go. People stopped, they watched, they whispered. This was not the human they were warned about in the medical center. The human rested. His body was weak, but his mind was calm. The child sat beside him, her feet swinging slowly. She watched his chest rise and fall. The mother stood nearby, speaking softly with healers. He should not have survived. One healer said, humans survive strange things. The mother replied. The human opened his eyes. The room felt bright. He turned his head, saw the child. You stayed, he said. She nodded. I said I would, she replied. That made him smile. Outside the room, council representatives waited. Not guards, not soldiers, observers. They entered slowly. The human tried to sit up. Do not move. One said, we are not here to judge. Another added. That surprised him. The leader stepped forward. The city watched your choice. The leader said, you ignored orders, you entered danger. Why? The human thought, because people were scared. He answered, fear spreads fast. He continued, someone had to slow it. The council listened. Fear has guided our treatment of humans, the leader said. Today, you showed another way. The child stood. He is good, she said. The room fell quiet. Truth does not need force. The leader nodded. Council has decided. They announced humans will no longer be restricted by default. They will be seen individually. Actions will matter more than origin. The human stared. Are you serious? He asked. Yes. The leader answered. This city will remember today. Across the city, barriers lowered, signs changed, public networks shared the decision. Some celebrated, some feared. Change is never cleaning the park. Where it all began, people gathered, aliens of many kinds standing together. They waited. The human arrived slowly, supported, still healing. The child ran ahead. That is him, she called. Eyes turned, not with suspicion, but curiosity. The human stopped. This was harder than danger, being seen. The mother stepped beside him. You do not have to speak, she said, but he did. He faced the crowd. I'm not special, he said. I broke. I cried. A child helped me, he continued. That is all. The simplicity confused them. Then one alien stepped forward. You saved my sister, they said. Another spoke. You held the lift. My family escaped. More voices followed. Gratitude replaced fear. The human lowered his head. He did not know how to carry this. The child hugged him. You belong now, she said that word again. Belong. Later that night, lights across the city changed color. Not warning, not control. Honor. The council watched from above. One member spoke. Humans feel deeply, they said. That makes them dangerous. Another replied, or necessary. The leader concluded, we were wrong to see only their strength. They said their weakness is where connection begins. Back at the home, the human sat quietly. The child leaned against him. Borrowed. Mom made food, she said proudly. The human laughed softly. Thank you, he said, for what she asked, for choosing me, he replied. She smiled. I always do, she said. Outside, stars moved slowly. A city changed its story, and somewhere far beyond, other worlds were listening, learning that humanity's greatest power was not force, but the courage to care. A borrowed family becomes home. The city woke to a softer light, not brighter, just warmer. The human stood at the window, watching movement below. People walked slower now. They looked at each other more. Something had shifted behind him. The home felt alive. The sound of cooking, the gentle hum of systems, the quiet laughter of a child. He still found this hard to believe. He'd nowhere once. Now he had a place. The child ran to him. Are thinking again, she said. He smiled. I do that, he replied. She climbed onto a chair. Mom says thinking too much makes humans sad, she added. Sometimes, he said. The mother entered the room. Breakfast is ready, she said. They sat together. A simple meal, nothing special yet it felt important. The human realized something. This was what he missed. Not Earth, not his old life connection later that day. A message arrived from the council, not an order. Not a demand, an invitation. The human read it slowly. They offered him a role. Bridge between humans and this world, someone who understood both fear and fear. Hopi looked at the mother. I am not ready, he said. She nodded. You do not need to be ready, she replied. Only willing. The child leaned forward. You already are, she said. That made him laugh. The city prepared a small gathering, not a ceremony, not a show, just people, humans and aliens standing together. The human spoke briefly. I was lost. He said, you found me. He continued, if that can happen once, it can happen again. That was all. The crowd did not cheer. They understood. As days passed, humans arrived carefully, cautiously. Were met not with walls, but questions, not with fear, but curiosity. The human helped, listened, translated feelings more than words. At night, he returned home to a child who waited, to a mother who cared. One evening, the child asked, will you leave? She said. The question froze him. No, he answered, not unless you want me to. She hugged him tightly. You are family, she said. The word settled deep inside him. Family. The mother watched quietly. You were never borrowed, she said later. You were chosen. The human felt tears again, but these were different. They did not hurt. Outside, the city lights reflected in the sky. A signal broadcast beyond the stars. A simple story. A human cried. A child listened. A world changed. Other worlds heard it. Some dismissed it. Some doubted, but some remembered. And that was enough. The human stood once more in the park. The same bench, but not the same man. The child ran ahead. This is where we met, she said. He nodded. Thank you, he whispered, for sitting with Mesh. Smiled. Always, she said. The universe remained vast, cold in many places, but now in one small corner humanity was no longer alone. Not because of strength, not because of conquest, but because someone cared and someone stayed.